iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come here live in the middle action here of qualifying. First group out on the track. We got Davin Markham, Jacob Laster, and Dave Payton here for race number 5 of the ASRC Pro Late Models tonight. We are at the Limaland Speedway right now. We're looking at the 43 machine. That is Davin Markham out there on the speedway. Drivers that have completed some laps. That is, of course, Jacob Laster, and slowest out of group number 1, it's a 38 machine of Dave Payne. All 3 of those cars already out on track here as we get ready to rock and roll for our next group. Next group looking like the following: Blake Steele, Eric Lake, and Grady Ehrman. As we get those cars here out on the speedway, we're now looking at the 43 machine. This is Grady Ehrman on the clock. Ehrman looked pretty strong there in practice. We'll see where he can go here on the timing and scoring. Right now, Eric Lake sits P number 3, Ehrman goes P number 5, and Blake Steele goes P number 2. We take a look at the X5 machine that is being piloted by Eric Lake, picking up his first win of the season in the real life stuff out there at the Tri-City Motor Speedway in the X5 Street Stock. Also quickest in the second group here, it's the number 11 machine of Blake Steele. He's repping some Turn 3 merch on his real life car as well, as we got to shout him out for that. That support always appreciated. If you ever want to rep some merch, be sure to check us on out. Hit us on up for a sticker for your car. We love to be on as many cars as possible. As Blake Steele, fastest in group number 2, but not quick enough to move out Davin Markham. So far, quickest time in that 43 machine. As we get ready for our next group here, will be Tanner Hutchins, Bobby Manley, and Daryl Larson here. As we get cars here on the speedway, it is Bobby Manley in the 3M machine we're taking a look at here first. The 3M on the clock down the backstretch here for his first time lap. Bobby Manley off at turn number 4. He will go to P number 2 and take down Tanner Hutchins, who was P number 2. He'll slide into P number 3 as Hutchins in the double OH machine trying to find some speed. That thing always sticking out on the track. That bright pink machine always standing on out. Now we have the 5 machine that is being piloted by Daryl Larson. He's got a very similar scheme now to Jacob Laster, hoping he can find some speed in that thing. And so far, a part of that Hot Lap Heroes clan. And Daryl Larson, solid effort. He finds himself in the top 5. He qualifies P number 4. So it seems like this track's starting to come alive as we get ready for our next group to roll on out. We take a look now to our points leader. That is T-Matt himself, Trevor Mattingly in the 13T. He'll get this thing wound up here in 3 and 4. And off of turn number 4, Trevor comes. The 13T is on the clock here. He'll dive it down, put that thing right on the racing groove. You can see that line being formed on up right here, right around the middle of the speedway. That's where you want to be here in qualifying. Trevor Manley, lap number 1, quick time. He goes to the top of the boards with a 12.42 here, lap number 1. As we take a look at our other cars in the group, that being the 27 machine of Cade Gailey. He's got to wrap part of that Hot Lap Hero stable. A lot of cars out there, and the other car here on the clock in this group, it is the 88 machine. That is Chuck Darling out there, announcer at the Birch Run Speedway these days, and finding his home here at the American Sim Racing Club during the week to get some laps out there in the car. Right now, Darling sits P number 8, so the 8 for the 88 machine. As our next group here, it looks like we have the 82 machine of Zach Rush rolling out on the speedway. Same with the 53 of Cam Tucker and Michael Guerin in the 78 also out in this group. We take a look here at Zach Rush. 82 machine is on the clock here for his first lap, and right there missing the groove. He goes right to the top side, so this lap probably not going to be the best from the driver of the 82 machine. Zach Rush definitely more comfortable on the pavement stuff, still giving it his all here on the dirt. As we take a look at our next cars out here, it's a 53 machine of Cam Tucker. I know we got a lot of Tucker fans tuning on each week here on the Turn 3 Racing Network to cheer him on. Right now, Tucker sits P number 10. He looks to improve that time, but not quite. So Tucker right outside, right on the cusp of that top 10. Also out on the speedway, Michael Guerin in that newly wrapped number 78 machine. That thing looking very sporty. He sits P number 14 as we head to our next group. That being, of course, Brandon Marlowe in another Hot Lap Heroes number 37 machine. He gets out on the track in a hurry. We'll see if this helps his lap, but Marlowe late in this qualifying session, we got to wonder, is the track speed still there as the 37 machine of Brandon Marlowe on the clock here in qualifying. Marlowe sends it on in through 3 and 4, nice and easy, gets that thing pointed and jumps on the loud pedal hard. This looks like a pretty good lap, and it is. He ties with Trevor Mattingly, but they give Mattingly the advantage. So Marlowe, a very quick lap. He proves the speed is still out there here on the track. As we now take a look at the 9 machine of Dan Lloyd. He's also out here on the speedway. Another driver of the Hot Lap Hero stable. Right now, this group, all Hot Lap Hero drivers, because the other driver in this group is the 422 machine of Jordan McAvoy. McAvoy looked very strong last week, but faded a little bit in the race. McAvoy hoping to rebound that in that sweet-looking 422 machine. McAvoy, though, keeping that hot streak alive in qualifying. He qualifies P number 3 as we head over to, I believe that is it for qualifying. All 18 drivers have completed a lap, and it looks like Trevor Manley continues the streak. He is tonight's quick time with Brandon Marlowe hot on his heels. So that will do it here for the qualifying efforts. Now we head over to our heat races here tonight as the top 4 will lock themselves in. All drivers making the field here for the main event. We might have a B main to set the lineup once it comes that time. But now we'll head down to the front stretch to go over tonight's starting order here for heat race number 1 at the Limaland Speedway. Quick time, Trevor Mattingly will start on the pole. He'll lead the field to green as Davin Markham in the 43 machine starts to his outside. Darrell Larson in that 5 machine will start third, with Blake Steele in the number 11 starting in 4th. Then the back row looking like the fallen Cam Tucker in the 53 machine starting in 5th, with Grady Ehrman in the 42 or 43 on the car, rounding out heat race number 1. And I'm pretty sure I'll double check here, folks, but Trevor Mattingly did, in fact, win last week. So what that means here, folks, is Mattingly will go to the back here, I believe, of this heat race. So it'll actually be Darrell Larson leading the field to green, as I believe Mattingly will drop to the back with that shotgun rule, new in place for season number 2 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series. As if he doesn't drop to the back in the heat race, don't come at me, folks, because that means he'll do just that in the feature time. But I was pretty sure it's heat races, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll see if he ends up dropping to the back, but as of right now, it does not look like that is the case. So heat race number 1 here rolling at the Limaland Speedway. We're keeping the show rolling. Sorry for the delay. We had a little bit of technical difficulties trying to get the track dry in time for racing, as we had a little bit of virtual rain here at the Limaland Speedway and got everything situated and ready to finally go racing here tonight for race number 5 of the American Sim Racing Club and off of turns number 3 and 4. Driver Mattingly on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing here in heat race number 1. Mattingly gets away with a great start. Davin Markham does slot into second. Looks like Darrell Larson up into third, trying to get that front end to stick. Does not set it too good. That opens up the door to Blake Steele to his left rear. As Steele tries to make it work, he gets tagged by Cam Tucker. So 3 wide down the backstretch for that final transfer spot to lock him on in to make sure that they don't go to that B main. But everyone making the race, it's just the B main, you're going to have to race your way for those starting spots. And we know how important these starting spots are here with these very quick 50 lappers, as I believe tonight will be 75 laps, as this is a short track. Battle for the race lead. Markham all over the tail bumper here of Trevor Mattingly. This time by the field, we'll see 4 laps to go for these 6 drivers. Top 4 locking themselves into the main event. Last 2 will go to the B main to determine the starting order from 13th on back here tonight. As everyone's spread on out, Darrell Larson has a little bit of breathing room to the 43 machine of Ehrman. Ehrman started dead last in this race, made his way up 2 spots here with that 3 wide pass and trying to make it work as he goes to the top side. No one else up there, so he's trying to make a lane up top here in 1 and 2. This time by, we'll see the white flag for the race leaders. 1 more lap to go as Trevor Mattingly tries to pick up yet another heat race win, trying to maximize the points here tonight. He picked up quick time, now trying to do the 2 in a row. He does that off of turn number 4. Trevor Mattingly picks up the win here in heat race number 1. Davin Markham in second. Darrell Larson rounds out the top 3 as we now quickly head over to our second heat race of the night. And so far, clean and green for the most part here tonight. We'll see if that trend continues. But so far, heat races tend to be on the better side as we head now down for the starting lineup here for heat race number 2. Brandon Marlowe in the Hot Lap Heroes 37 machine will lead the field to green, with Bobby Mattingly in the T-Mat Speed Shop 3M starting to his outside. Dan Lloyd, another Hot Lap Hero driver in that stable, will start third, with Chuck Darling in the Northside Towing Marv Banquet 88 machine starting in 4th. 5th will be the X5 machine of Eric Lake. He's got race 1 and a lot of sponsors on that car, with Michael Guerin in the newly wrapped number 78 machine starting shotgun on heat race number 2 here tonight. So that would do it here for the starting lineup for heat race number 2. As these drivers get the 1 to go signal, next time by we'll be going green flag racing action here at the Limaland Speedway for race number 2. Through 3 and 4, the field come. Brandon Marlowe on the loud pedal here. Bobby Mattingly trying to wind that 3M machine up top as we go green flag here. Top 2 single file on out. Now we head a little bit further back as Eric Lake tries to get around Chuck Darling. He'll slide right in front of the nose of that 88 machine as Eric Lake finds himself in the top 4. Now Michael Guerin trying to do the same move to the 88 machine. Guerin down low, Darling up top. As right now everyone's single filed out. Now Guerin will try the top side, try and get a run on the driver of the 88 machine. But it looks like won't quite be enough. That top side starting to come in ever so slightly, but I don't think it's enough as everyone mostly in that more packed down lighter gray stuff. But you can start to see a little bit of shimmer down low as these drivers continue to move up tonight's speedway here as the groove continues to widen at the Limaland Speedway. You can see drivers either trying to get their car rotated in that very slick stuff, or like Bobby Mattingly, just driving straight above it, making sure he stays in the tacky stuff as long as possible. And Bobby Mattingly trying to pick up the momentum, but Doesn't look like the momentum's quite there in that slightly higher line. This time the field sees popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 more laps to go for heat race number 2. Brandon Marlowe continues to lead the way. He'll see the white flag here. 1 more lap to go for the 37 machine. Down the backstretch for the final time in heat race number 2. Marlowe will sail it on in there. Smooth operator himself. Off of turn number 4, Brandon Marlowe picks up the win here for heat race number 2. Bobby Manley will bring it home second. Dan Lloyd and the 9 machine will round out the top 3 as we head over to heat race number 3. And I believe the final heat race of the night, as we've had 6 cars in all 3 heat races here tonight to make up the 18 car field that have shown up on the property of the Limaland Speedway. Heat race number 3 looking like the following. Jordan McAvoy in the 422 machine will lead the field to green. Tanner Hutchins in the double OH will start outside front row. Row number 2 looking like the following. Cade Gailey in the number 27 machine will start third, with Jacob Lassiter in the 151 starting in 4th. Dave Payton in the 38 ASRC machine starting 5th, and Zach Rush in the 82 machine will start shotgun here in heat race number 3. These drivers this time got by getting the 1 to go signal, so next time we'll be going green flag racing. So far, no yellow flags in our first 2 heat races. We'll see if we can continue that streak here for heat race number 3. Through 3 and 4 the field come. McAvoy on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing action here at the Limaland Speedway for heat race number 3 as McAvoy will send on in there. Get out of shape off of turn number 2. That opens up the door for Hutchins. Hutchins will slide it on in there and take that spot away. So Hutchins capitalizing on that mistake for McAvoy. Now Jacob Lassiter throwing his hat in the mix. He's trying to get as many spots as he can here in the heat race. We heard Lassiter say he struggled a little bit in qualifying, and this pill draw style definitely shakes up qualifying, as you know, if you don't hit that track right with the right state, you're out to lunch. And Lassiter has fallen victim more times than not, it seems like, this season. But when it comes time to put the irons to the coal, he's there to get the job done, as Lassiter up into P number 2, keeping the pressure on our race leader, Tanner Hutchins. Also right there in the mix is the 27 hot lap here machine of Cade Gailey. He's right on the bumper of McAvoy if McAvoy makes any more mistakes here in this heat race here tonight. Everyone single filed on out, continue to move up the speedway as this groove does here tonight. Tanner Hutchins leading the way this time by. He will see popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 more laps to go as now Jacob Lassiter goes on the attack. He'll try and get around him. 1 car up way high. That is Jordan McAvoy. Jump the cushion. He's up in the slick stuff. He loses 2 spots on that lap as this time by. We'll see the white flag. We'll see if Lassiter has anything left in the tank for Hutchins. He tried to see something there. He'll try and look to the inside here through 3 and 4. Off of turn number 4, they will drag race. It'll be Tanner Hutchins picking up the win here in heat race number 2. Lassiter in second. Cade Gailey comes home tonight in P number 3. As we now head down to our last chance race. All drivers here in the last chance race making the field here tonight. This is to set the starting order from 13th on back as we get cars out here for this 12-lap last chance race. Blake Steele in the number 11 machine will be leading the field to green. Chuck Darling in the 88 will start outside front row. Jordan McAvoy in the 422 machine will start third, with Cam Tucker now starting in P number 4. Michael Guerin in the 78 machine will start 5th, and Zach Rush in the 82 will round out the field here for this 6-car last chance race, with all 6 cars, of course, advancing to the main event. A lot of 6s here tonight, folks. We had 6-car heat races and now a 6-car last chance race. But of course, we'll have 18 cars here if all cars do end up starting for our main event, that being the 75 lapper here at the Limaland Speedway. Down the backstretch, the field will come. Blake Steele will lead us to green. Blake Steele on the loud pedal here. We go green flag racing action here at Limaland. Steele gets away with a great start. He'll jump straight to that preferred line as Jordan McAvoy trying to figure out something, get that car rotated down low. He'll be in the middle of 3 wide here as Guerin tries to go to the inside. McAvoy jumps up to this top lane. So everyone in this race pretty much just trying to figure out some lines, figure out where they want to run for this main event, because once they get that, that will be it, as we'll be talking to our B main winner here after this race. So don't go anywhere, folks, because after this we'll talk to them, and then of course our main event after that as we get side-by-side racing action. McAvoy finding some speed finally up in that top lane. He's rolling up there as he's trying to now look to the outside of Chuck Darling. He got around Cam Tucker. The question is, where does Tucker go? Does he follow him if he does get around that 88 machine? A tight battle from second on back as Blake Steele out in front in that 11 machine has started to check on out. McAvoy hitting that outside line just right, but not too much traction there as he'll pull the slider on Darling. So slide job city now for P number 2 as we get the halfway point here in the B main as McAvoy gets the run here. Darling gives him the lane up top. It's going to be a drag race here down the backstretch. Now through 3 and 4. They'll toss it in there deep. It looks like McAvoy gets the spot. Now Michael Guerin trying to get some spots up top as well as he goes to the outside of Cam Tucker. Now trying to go to the outside of Chuck Darling, and he had a nose there, and off of turn number 4 he has the position. So it seems like that outside line coming in sooner than later. These drivers working in. I'm sure all the drivers that have made it as, big time wall hit for Guerin as that will make him lose the handful of spots. So Guerin, big mistake up there. That's what happens, folks, though, with this top line is if you jump that cushion, push it a little bit too hard, that wall is unforgiving here tonight, as we found out there as popsicle sticks up in the air. Blake Steele leading the way, but Jordan McAvoy has ran him on down. McAvoy about 2 car lengths back here as they will see the white flag here. 1 more lap to go here for the last chance race. Further on back, Chuck Darling, Michael Guerin duking it on out, but we'll keep a battle for the race lead here off of turn number 4. It's going to be a drag race, and Blake Steele ends up going flag to flag. He will hold off McAvoy just in time as Cam Tucker brings it home 3rd. Michael Guerin 4th, Chuck Darling 5th, and Zach Rush 6th, as we'll be talking now to the driver of our B main winner. That is going to be Blake Steele. But first, we're going to go to commercial break. I'm going to go take a drink of water, as that has been some action-packed racing so far. All green flag here, as we'll be right back on the other side from commercial break. All right, folks, we come back here at the Limaland Speedway talking with our B main winner. That's going to be the 11 car of Blake Steele. Blake, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yeah, I got you.
All righty, Blake. I'm sure you didn't want to be running in that B main, but some extra track time, and I'm sure you use that to your advantage. Tell us, how's that car seeming here tonight, and what'd you learn there running that B main?
Yeah, we had some, we got unlucky in that heat race, but not too worried because everybody makes a feature. But definitely some extra track time is good. You get to learn the slick part of the track to help you in the feature.
Yeah, and it seemed like that B main, everyone kept on moving on up just like those heat races. And Jordan McAvoy ripping the top side. I mean, you had to be watching your mirror a little bit and saying, oh man, is it time to jump up there just yet?
I was definitely keeping an eye on the 422, seeing what he was doing. I seen him catching me, so I started to move up a little bit, and I let him get too close. He tried the slider on the last lap, but ended up getting the win.
Yep, it was a good drag race to the line, Blake, and you pick up, I believe this is your second B main win. And I tell you what, not having the luck in qualifying in those heat races, but you showed it last week coming home in the top 5 once again. I tell you what, you turn it on when it comes that main event time. I mean, what's a secret besides, learning that slick stuff? And I tell you what, you're one of the best, and I tell you what, I've seen a lot of improvement out of you.
Yeah, you gotta definitely hit your marks and find the best line suited for the car and suited for you. Try to minimalize your mistakes, and yeah.
And Blake, I gotta tell you, I gotta give you a big shout out here. The real life car repping the Turn 3 sticker. Love to see you. Tell us what your plans are for this race season with that number 11 machine, and what series and tracks you're running at.
Yeah, we'll be mostly running the Mid-South region. My first year in a stock car, so just trying to get seat time and trying to learn the class and generally just learn dirt track racing.
There you go. I love to say, especially with newcomers, I know I practiced a lot on iRacing before jumping in a modified to get some seat time. How much do you think iRacing's going to help, and how often are you on here turning some dirt laps getting ready for that season?
I'm definitely pretty consistent on iRacing, but I definitely think iRacing helped out quite a bit on just getting the feel of it, the basic stuff. But there's some differences too.
Yeah, dirt iRacing can be a little funky. Let's say the slick stuff, very slick in that groove. Moving on up, not too much of a cushion throughout the race, but that doesn't deter that number 11 machine, as that thing seems to always be charging to the front. While we got you here for the last couple seconds here, Blake, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank that makes this 11 machine a rocket ship.
Gotta thank TW Lawn Care, Candy's Bail Bonds, Buford Racing, Lazy Hog Barbecue, Maniac Racing Engines, Extreme Concepts, and BSR Graphics.
Alrighty, awesome stuff from Blake Steele there. Blake, best of luck to you here in the main event. Hopefully we'll be talking to you on the other side.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, folks, that was Blake Steele in the number 11 machine picking up the B main win here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, folks. He is one of the drivers you got to keep an eye on. You'll see his name continue to click up towards that front of the of the field throughout the run as we get ready now for our main event, our 75-lapper here at the Limaland Speedway for the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Models here for race number 5. Starting grid looking like the following. Trevor Manley in the 13T will probably be going to the back, but right now is slated to start on the pole. He did win last week, so he's got the shotgun driver challenge here. Brandon Marlowe in that 37 machine will start outside front row. Tanner Hutchins in the OOH will start third and probably move up to that front lane. Davin Markham in the 43 machine will start fourth. Fifth going to Bobby Manley in the 3M machine, with Jacob Lester in the 151 starting to his outside. Darrell Larson in that 5 machine starting in 7th, with Dan Lloyd in the 9 starting 8th. 9th going to Cade Gailey, and rounding out the starting top 10 is Grady Ehrman in that 43 machine. 11th is Eric Lake in the X5, with Dave Payne in the 38 starting in 12th. 13th looking like Blake Steele in the 11, with Jordan McAvoy in the 422 starting 14th. 15th is Cam Tucker in the 53, with Michael Guerin in the 78 starting in 16th. Chuck Darling in the 17 will start 17th in the 88 machine, with Zach Rush in the 82 rounding out tonight's field. As we head to the front stretch here, it is the wave lap here, folks, as this field gets ready to rock and roll here for 75 laps around the Limaland Speedway. This is race number 5 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series. So Trevor Manley does drop to the back, so now Tanner Hutchins in control He'll lead the field to green off of turn number 4. He's on the loud pedal here, folks. We go green flag racing action here at the Limaland Speedway. Hutchins quickly jump into that outside lane. Brandon Marlowe giving chase up top. First car working that inside line is the 3M machine of Bobby Manley. He's down low, way below that slick stuff, trying to make this track as short as possible. Now Dab Markham has the momentum up top. He'll go to P number 3 as the top 3 ripping this top side here tonight. The question is, does Bobby Manley jump up top in front of Laster, or does he stay committed to that inside line? Looks like Bobby Manley will jump up top, so everyone fighting for this top lane as we head a little bit further back in the pack now. As Cade Gailey trying to make that inside line work, he jumps up top, so single files train around this top lane here tonight as Trevor Manley trying to pick up some spots. Already up to P number 15, but he wants some more. As Manley's gonna have his work cut out for him. Everyone already to this top side, so he's got to make some moves that not too many people on the dirt side can make. That is, of course, making some passes down in the slick stuff as he'll try and get 2 for 1 as he'll slide up in front of Eric Lake. Lake having to jump on the brakes big time to not get in the back of him. Lake losing 2 spots. I'm sure not the happiest with that, but we keep it clean and green. Out in front, Tanner Hutchins leading the way in this Double OH machine, driving away from Brandon Marlowe. So Hutchins trying to get the job done here tonight. Brandon Marlowe currently sitting P number 2 here with Dab Markham giving chase in P number 3 as everyone up top here as we go a little bit further back here. Big time slider. He gets a piece of the wall. That opens up the door for now Dane Lloyd to cross him on over. And now Cade Gailey will try and make this inside line work as Dave Payne trying to figure out where to go. Same with Blake Steele. Blake Steele now dives it down to this inside line, trying to get some spots as this outside line continues to get checked on up with sliders. As Blake Steele in the top 10 now, he's making that inside line work, does get clear of Dave Payne, so Steele up 3 spots from where he started. Biggest mover though, Trevor Manley up 5 spots from starting in the back. He's trying to figure out where to go in this battle with Dave Payne and Jordan McAvoy. As McAvoy goes down low, Payne to the top, and Mattingly just trying to find an open spot. Contact there. They will go on around on the front stretch. Jordan McAvoy facing the wrong direction for a second. He gets that car rolling, but it looked like just 2 cars going for the same real estate off of turn number 4. That will bring out the yellow flag as we take a look. Dave Payne with the run. McAvoy, I don't think realized Payne was going to have that big a run. Tries to slide on up, just give him enough room and gets a piece of it as Michael Guerin, awesome wreck avoidance. Looks like Cam Tucker just getting a little piece of it, but man, Michael Guerin, heck of a wreck avoidance there. We're going to go ride on board with the driver of the number 78 machine as he sees this wreck unfold right in front of him, and he gets on the binders big time to avoid it. All of a sudden, car up top, car slow down low, and he sticks that thing sideways and gets that thing wound up. That 78 machine looking nice and clean, as it looks like Jordan McAvoy does claim that yellow, so he'll go to the back as we get under our first yellow flag here of the night. So Delaware double foul restart. Tanner Hutchins out in front. Looks like Brandon Marlowe picks the outside. Dab Markham down low off of turn number 4. The fuel come. We go green flag racing action as, whoa, that was close. Jacob Lassler sniffing the left rear quarter panel of Markham and almost this time gets into him. Markham goes on around on the backstretch, and that will bring out our second yellow flag there. We saw it coming for a while, and then the cap finally coming off there as contact between the 151 and the 43 machine as we try and get a replay there. But that started right at the start with Davin Markham and Lassiter getting together right here at the start finish line going into turns 1 and 2. Markham trying to cut it way low, then doesn't get that car rotated enough, gets stuck in the slick, then just absolute wheel spin city. He tries to go up Mattingly there. He cuts it low, and Lassiter right there on the back bumper, nowhere to go, as that brings it out for our second yellow. Also, the 9 machine of Dan Lloyd spinning a little bit later in the yellow. as we haven't had any yellow flags tonight. Then 2 quick yellow flags right back to back as the lights do go out on the iRacing pace car. Looks like Tanner Hutchins leading the way. Once again, Marlowe picks the outside lane. That moves now Jacob Laster up into the top 3 here through 3 and 4. The fuel will come off at turn number 4. Tanner Hutchins on the loud pedal here. We try and go back green flag racing action here on lap 15 of the 75. Laster trying to make this inside line work, but not quite good enough as Marlowe will roll that top side. Now Bobby Manley looks to the outside of the 51 machine. Laster rolling that entry very well, but Mattingly with that momentum up top. Now Laster will slide on up. Mattingly will shoot the middle as Grady Ehrman trying to make that inside line work. He's just rolling, minding his own business down low as now Bobby Mattingly up into the top 3 here once again as Ehrman continues to be committed to that inside line. And look at this, folks. Trevor Mattingly up into the top 6. He's sniffing on the top 5 here. As further on back, we get a big battle here. Blake Steele and Darrell Larson duking it out here for P number 7. Blake Steele, one of the best movers here tonight. He found himself in that B main. Highest car running that did run that B main as he currently sits P number 7 as everyone gets sorted on out into this top lane. A little bit further back, Eric Lake making that inside line work. He gets around the 78 machine, but goes back to that bottom side. So Eric Lake committed down low here tonight. As we go back up to the front now, Bobby Manley challenging Brandon Marlowe for P number 2. Marlowe trying to make this inside line work. Bobby Mattingly keeping his foot to the floor. He's up ripping the cushion and doing that well. Bobby Mattingly, let's make that up into P number 2 as we get a yellow flag on the speedway. We're trying to find out where it was at. Looks like it might have involved the 53 machine of Cam Tucker. Tucker having a lot of left side damage. Dave Payne, a lot of right side damage on these pro late models here. So we're going to try and take a look, see what brought out this 3rd yellow flag. As old man Darrell Larson slow up top, Michael Guerin, and Michael Guerin, big time hit to the opening there, and Dave Payne coming in late, and man, that is some big time contact for these drivers. Big hits for about a handful of cars here tonight, and the worst end being that 78 machine of Michael Guerin. That car heavily wounded after that one. We're going to try and see what happened. Maybe try and get a little bit further back as we take a look. That starts with the 5 machine getting into the wall there in 1 and 2. Gets in the wall glue. That car stuck up top very slow. Oh, he even gets the opening. That's what slows him on up. Guerin not realizing they're 3 wide. They both go right to that opening, and Michael Guerin, big hit to that wall. And Dave Payne trying to come in wreck avoidance. Can't get that car slowed enough and coming in with a big hit. So some big time hits here to bring out this 3rd yellow here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. Looks like Michael Guerin does bring that car to the pit side as that thing is heavily damaged. Our first retirement of the night. 17 cars still out here on the racing surface, with Michael Guerin being the first to drop on out. Lights are out on the iRacing pace car. Looks like Bobby Manley will elect the outside lane. Tanner Hutchins led every lap so far in this first 25. We'll see if he can continue that as Bobby Manley looking very strong there in P number 2. Off of turn number 4, the fuel will come. We go back green flag racing action here at the Limaland Speedway. Hutchins gets a great start up here now. Brandon Marlowe trying to roll that inside line as Bobby Manley keeps the steam full bore as he continues to rip this top side here tonight. We now jump on board with Bobby Manley riding this top lane, and you can see that cushion starting to form, and this top side getting very shiny. That means it's slicking on off, so you got to really hit your marks as Tanner Hutchins. Mistake here. Now battle for the race lead. Bobby Manley will try and slide Hutchins in contact as Tanner Hutchins goes around in front of the field. We'll see if everyone gets on around. Not quite, as some cars get in there late as Tanner Hutchins goes from hero to 0. He gets spun in front of the whole field as they were battling for the race lead. It looked like Slider not quite clear from Mattingly. Just clears him, not quite. Tanner Hutchin tries to get on the brakes. Laster nowhere to go. He gets spun. Man, Trevor Mattingly does an awesome wreck avoidance. Eric Lake gets a piece of it. Jordan McAvoy and Cade Gailey also a piece of it. And then one car coming in late. I believe that's the 82 machine of Zach Rush, as that is a tough break from our former race leader, Tanner Hutchins. Goes all the way to the back now in that double OH machine. As with those cars stacking up top, that moves the 37 machine of Brandon Marlowe to the race lead, as Bobby Manley will re-slot into P number 2, Jacob Laster third. Grady Ehrman in fourth. Trevor Mattingly, that man from the back, has made his way up to the top 5. As Aaron Kirby tuning on in here in the chat, sadly not making the call. Bummer we didn't see that 91 machine out here, but some intense racing. I tell you what, that is a bummer for Tanner there, but some hard racing nonetheless, as this time we'll see the lights get extinguished in the Delaware double file restart. We'll try it again here as Bobby Manning, Alexis outside lane. That moves Jacob Laster once again to this inside lane as everyone else doubles on up. And we try and get ready here, as looks like all but one car out here on the speedway here tonight. Through 3 and 4, the fuel come. Brandon Marlowe on the loud pedal. We go back, green flag racing action as Jacob Laster, great start from the 51 machine down low. We'll see if he can slide on up front of Bobby Manley, and he does. So Laster finding some speed in that middle stuff. He's trying to split the slick, as there's slick right there in the middle lane, and the top lane, as Trevor Mattingly, man, he's making that inside line work, and he is on the move. He's nice and slow down low and making it work. He's got a handful of cars also trying to make it work as well behind him. So starting to battle for the race lead. Marlowe, Laster up top. Trevor Mattingly, Grady Ehrman, excuse me. First 2 cars down low. As Bobby Manley, you got to wonder, does he have any damage to that rear end? Is that car running as it did before? We'll have to wait and see. As Blake Steele, I mean, this guy knocking on the door once again of a top 5 finish. So this guy heading in the right direction. Another car heading in the right direction. That is the next 3. Eric Lake up 4 spots in the X5 machine. And Jordan McAvoy ripping the lip. He was doing that big time there in the B main, making it work here tonight. He sits P number 8 at the moment. Looks like that inside line fading here as Brandon Marlowe continues to lead the way. He's looking for his first win of this season. Right now sitting in the best spot, but still a lot of racing to go. As we approach the halfway mark, Marlowe leads the way. Laster second. Trevor Mattingly in third. Bobby Manley, his uncle, sits P number 4. And Grady Ehrman rounds out the top 5 here. As we go mid-pack here, a lot of side-by-side battles. Drivers trying to find any sort of open lane. One car trying to make his way back up through the field. That is the 43 machine of Davin Markham. He's heading in the right direction, having a tough break there early in the race, but making a pretty strong rebound. He sits P number 8 as he has gone around that 422 machine. Now Cade Gailey trying to make that inside line work. Further on back, Chuck Darling trying to make the moves on Dave Payton in that 38 machine. So up front, single file stretched on out. Maybe not battle for P number 2. Trevor Mattingly trying to make that inside line work. We see all cars with some right quarter damage. Everyone has at least laid one fender on the speedway on this wall here tonight. As we have passed the halfway mark, we are over halfway down and less than halfway to go here tonight. Davin Markham now trying to work over Eric Lake for the 7th position here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. Markham continues to be committed to that top lane. Eric Lake still committed to this bottom middle groove, and he's making it work fairly decently. He sits P number 7 here at the moment. Further on back, Chuck Darling Dave Payne. These two have still found each other throughout this race. These guys still side by side here, as now Dane Lloyd in that 9 machine trying to enter in the mix as well. So these drivers doing battle now. Bobby Manley under fire from Grady Ehrman. Ehrman trying to make it work, but not quite enough of a run. He'll slot back into P number 5 with now some gaps. So now he's got to rerun down that 3M machine. As we go back further to this battle for P number 12. As Dave Payne continues to try and rip this top side. Dan Lloyd in the middle with Chuck Darling down low. Closest battle on the speedway is the battle on our screen. Now it looks like Dan Lloyd does get the pass. Now Payne will try and get on around him down low. As Chuck Darling says, you guys keep on racing behind me. I'll try and check out here in front. So these guys still side by side. I'm surprised Lloyd isn't up all the way near the top trying to rip the slip, get some momentum. But right now he's committed to that middle groove. That one little strip of tacky track he's searching for in that number 9 machine. As Payne gets a piece of the inside tires, that upsets that front end just that little bit to allow that 9 car to get on around. Now Darrell Larson tries to set his sights on this 38 wounded machine. Further up front, Cade Gailey now under fire from the 422 of McAvoy. This race clicking on down here, 50 laps in, 25 to go here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. We've had 3 yellow flags, but since that 3rd yellow flag, been clean and green for almost 40 laps now. Jacob Laster starting to get under fire from that 13T of Trevor Mattingly. We're going to jump on board with Mattingly, see what he's doing to make this middle slick work. And you can see this track here tonight totally shiny now from almost the complete bottom all the way up to the top, as Mattingly just tries to search for any sort of traction. As Brandon Marlowe, our race leader, now heads down to this bottom side, as Trevor Mattingly does complete the pass on Jacob Laster. So now Mattingly sets his sights here on our race leader, as we now look back on board with the 13T, now back to our 3rd place driver, Jacob Laster. And you can hear Mattingly very timid on this throttle, waits till that car is absolutely straight and pointed where he wants to go to jump on this loud pedal. And you think with that amount of throttle, you know, no way can he be fast, but it's all about being smooth here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. As we see under 20 laps to go, Brandon Marlowe continues to lead the way, now dealing with heavy lap traffic. Now looking at the 38 machine of Dave Payne with a lot more cars in front of him. We'll see how our race leader deals with this lap traffic, as Payne does go 1 lap down. Now sets his sights on our race leader at the beginning of the night. That is the double H machine of Tanner Hutchins. Last car on the lead lap is Hutchins. Now Trevor Mattingly gets to deal with the lapper. Marlowe a little slow dealing with that lap traffic. Allowed Trevor Mattingly to close up ever so slightly. Now Mattingly having trouble with that lapper. We'll see if he gets clear off of turn number 2, and looks like no, so he will continue to have to keep that car on that low side, as Jacob Laster has caught on up. So it seems like lap traffic, big time factor here tonight, as Chuck Darling out of sorts. He'll keep that car down low as he lets these leaders go on by. Now this time by under 15 laps to go here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. Marlowe, Mattingly, Laster looking like the top 3. Then the other Mattingly, Bobby Mattingly in 4th. Blake Steele has made his way up into the top 5. This battle for 4th on back still very fiery, as contact, big time contact here into turn number 1. Blake Steele tried to get to the inside of Bobby Mattingly, shot him down a little bit. And Grady Ehrman had his nose in there as well, as they make pretty significant contact. Somehow all drivers hanging onto these cars, keeping them in the right direction. Further on back, Cade Gailey does get around the X5 machine of Eric Lake. That is the battle for P number 8, as we get a battle now for P number 2, as Tanner Hutchins still fighting to try and go as little laps down as he can. Now Laster will slide him and get to the outside now of Trevor Manley. Laster trying to find some speed up top, and he's trying to rip that lip to try and get back P number 2, as now they get the 5 machine of Darrell Larson out in the way. Now under single laps to go, we see 9 to go at the start finish line, and you see 3 wide racing in front of our race leader here, with that damaged 53 machine Cam Tucker just out here trying to stay out of everyone's way. Now Dan Lloyd in the mix as well, as Lloyd tries to stay from going a lap down. Eric Lake also in this battle as well. So our race leader seeing heavy lap traffic here with now 7 laps to go. The one good thing Brandon Marlowe has going for him, he's got about a 1.5 second cushion over the battle for second between Trevor Mattingly and Jacob Laster. So Marlowe hoping this car stays underneath him, nothing crazy happens in front of him, and this race goes clean and green to the end. As through 3 and 4 off at turn number 4, we see an open palm from the flagman. 5 laps to go here around the Limaland Speedway for race number 5 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series, presented by the Horsepower Happenings. Marlowe continues to lead the way. We're looking at him here now a little bit further back, trying to battle on up for that 5th position. Blake Steele trying to hold off Grady Ehrman in that 43 machine, but as long as Blake Steele doesn't make a mistake, he will continue another solid top 5 finish, as he started all the way back in P number 13, winning that B main. Off at turn number 4, Marlowe will see popsicle sticks up in the air. Can Marlowe do it? He's got a lot of pressure on himself to pick up this win here tonight. He's got a lot of podiums, but hasn't collected that all-elusive win this season. He's trying to do it here tonight, as we'll see the white flag here. 1 more lap to go around the Limaland Speedway. Jacob Laster has 1 more shot at Trevor Manley. He looks like he won't have enough. Off at turn number 4, Brandon Marlowe in the 37 machine picks up his first win of the season. We'll be ecstatic to talk to him. I'm sure he's ecstatic to park that thing down in victory lane. Trevor Manley comes from the back all the way up to our runner-up finisher, with Jacob Lassiter rounding out the top 3. We'll be talking to all 3 of those drivers. Bobby Manley in 4th, and Blake Steele rounds out the top 5 here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. We'll get the top 3 parked on the front stretch here, and don't go anywhere, folks, because we'll be talking to our top 3 just in 1 second after our commercial break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Post-race interviews coming right up next. Alrighty, first and foremost, I got to thank all the fans sticking out this weather delay here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. Going off a little bit later than scheduled, but appreciate you guys all tuning on in, because that racing was very exciting. And I tell you what, it kept me on the edge of my seat as we talk now to our 3rd place finisher, that being the 151 machine of Jacob Laster. Jacob, you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet here in the booth.
I got you, Brett.
Alrighty, Jacob. Once again, a tough qualifying session. Seems like you're always on the short end of the stick when it comes to qualifying. Heat race went pretty well for you. You figured out that top lane was pretty fast, and then this feature race, man, was that hectic. It seemed like anywhere you could drive it. The question was, would it stick in that line? Jacob, tell us a little bit about your night.
You're right, man. I shot ourselves in the foot in qualifying. There's some tracks where the longer you run, if you go out early, you get a better time. But here, it just seems like the more the track burns in, the faster it gets there for a small section. And we went out first, and not blaming it on that. I missed the line for sure, but it definitely didn't help going out first. But yeah, we had a decent heat race. Had some teammates in it. Everybody raced clean and respectable, and that makes a big difference. And then yeah, the feature was pretty crazy. I'm pretty wore out. That's what me and Trevor and Brandon were talking about. Um, it's a fine line up top trying to run that cushion, and um, once the bottom come in, I tried to go down there where Brandon went, but I couldn't run it like they could, so I just went back up to the top, and then it got hairy between lap traffic, swapping spots, me and Trevor and lap traffic. It was pretty wild. That I got in the back of Trevor on accident one time, so glad that it wasn't able to ruin his race or nothing like that.
Yeah, I tell you what, Jacob, we got to talk about that lap traffic. I mean, those guys seem like they still had some pretty good speed on that top lane. I mean, it seemed like it took at least 2 laps to get around that lap traffic, and most of them up top. I know that's where you wanted to be. That was definitely hectic. I saw you throw a couple sliders on some lappers. I mean, how did that impact the race here tonight?
Well, man, like I said, I've spoke pretty highly of all the guys that run in this league, and the ones that show up every week. If it's not their night, and they end up getting lapped, they're usually really respectable. And tonight was no different. It's just the way the track is. It's a short track. Guys are running their lines. You got to figure out a way around them. But yeah, I probably threw some big sliders and parked it on them. But I was trying to race pretty hard there to stay close to Trevor at least. Brandon run away with it, but I was trying to stay close to Trevor and have a chance there at the end. But yeah, I mean, everybody, they checked up for you, let you in. That's what you want out of lap traffic.
Yeah, I tell you what, some hectic moments those on those restarts. We saw our race leader Tanner Hutchins go around in front of the field, and everyone doing some pretty good job at some evasive maneuvers. But I bet that was a pucker moment. Same with you and the 43 of Markham. You guys both making contact on both ends of the speedway. It seemed like some very close, tough racing here tonight.
Yeah, I hated that for Tanner. Just looked like Bobby threw a big slider, I, and I'm not sure what all happened after that. They kind of got checked up, and I got in the back of Tanner, and it was an accident for sure. I let off, but it wasn't nothing we could do about it. And I hate that for him because he looked fast and for sure probably could have been up here with us. So, but yeah, just I hate that for him.
Yeah, a tough break for sure. But Jacob, you keep the streak alive. Once again, talking to me after the race, up on the podium, you sit second in points. And Jacob, we have a few weeks off here till we go back racing action. Of course, that being at the Lucas Oil Speedway, I believe one of the newer tracks. How do you feel about that place?
We ran quite a bit at Lucas in another series that I did, and we ran pretty well there. And hopefully we got some decent confidence going there. But like I said, man, it's this group up front. You know what I mean? It don't matter where you unload at; they're going to be tough. So I just gotta figure out qualifying. Gotta stop shooting ourselves in the foot for sure, and try to get past instead of trying to have to pass. It makes a big difference, man. Track position makes a big difference in these things, and that's for sure that track. We enjoy that track, and we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. As yeah, like you said, Jacob, with the skill caliber of this field, every position matters to start ahead of some guy, especially with these 3 heat races. I mean, a difference of 1 spot is 3 spots, let's say, when it comes feature time.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Make track position makes a big difference.
Yeah, that it does. Well, before we let you go and celebrate another podium for you in this second season of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you, and I'm sure there's got to be a lot of people to thank to make this 51 machine so quick each and every week.
Just got to give a shout out to the guys at Team Outlap Heroes. Um, some of them had some bad luck tonight, but everybody showed up and fought hard, and it's good to have a team like that, man. And hats off to Brandon on the win, and I think it's his first win this season, and maybe the first late model win with this group. So hats off to him, man. He's been working his butt off to get there, and so can't say enough about his progress and how well he's done. And shout out to Trevor on the podium, and then gotta say thanks to Garrett for the wrap on the car, 789 Designs. Check him out if you want to wrap. The Sud Shop, Max Green as always. You guys for doing the broadcast. Zach and Dave, the ones put the league on, give us a place to run. And as always, man, I got to thank the wife for taking care of the little one.
Alrighty, Jacob. Always a pleasure talking to you after these races. Keep up the good work, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more here in the season. Jacob, you have yourself a great rest of the night.
Appreciate it.
Alrighty, folks, that was our third place finisher, Jacob Laster, getting the job done for another podium. I believe he's been on the podium all 5 races here in the first 5 of the season. Now we head to our runner-up finisher. He started shotgun on the field. It is the 13T, Trevor Mattingly. Do you got a copy?
Yeah, I do. What's up?
Alrighty, Trevor. You had a big challenge in front of you. You were supposed to start on the pole here tonight, but with winning last week, you get to start at the back. Tell us, how was that racing throughout the field and then coming up and giving battle to this top 3? That seemed like it was a lot of fun. Stressful, but fun.
Holy crap, dude, that was a blast. That's what makes this stuff fun, man. It's definitely fun, getting out there and winning and stuff, but it's a whole different feeling being able to start in the back and get through the field. And it's mainly kudos to all the guys throughout the field giving you room to race, you know what I mean? It's up to them to give you room whenever there's 20 of you out there, so it goes to show you that these guys are some hell of some race.
Yeah, that
some
they
sim
are.
drivers, and they'll give you room whenever you need it.
Yeah, that they do. And I tell you what, a lot of great racing throughout this field. And Trevor, I mean, how'd you know where to go on the cars? It seemed like everyone was committed to that top side once the green flag dropped, and then you were one of the first to go down low, try and make her work, and just creep around that inside. And we were out on board with you. It seemed like you were barely in the gas, but I tell you what, keeping those lap times very consistent and pretty quick as this track continued to fade on out.
Yeah, on that one of them last restarts there, I think I was starting 5th. I seen the opportunity that I knew if I was going to run the bottom regardless, but Brandon went high, and the car in front of me went high. I think can't remember who it was, but anyway, I went low and made it stick. And the track does get around the bottom here, and I feel like if that bottom was a little bit better on that restart, I may have been able to stick my nose up and get around Brandon, maybe, and that would have been the only way I'd have been able to win, because he was fast there at the end. I'd have had to get in front of him and make it work from there, but he drove a heck of a race there through lap traffic, and so did Jacob. All 3 were bobbing and weaving, and I'm sure Bobby, Blake, and everyone else throughout the field was too. That was fun, man.
Yeah, that it was. And you mentioned it there. I mean, a lot of skilled drivers, lappers, being very respectful. But I mean, lap traffic coming in big time here tonight. How'd that impact your race? And I mean, they were forcing you guys to go down low.
They definitely were, and I mean, that's part of it. You got to go where they're not, and we did, and that's what makes racing what it is. You see the leaders getting to lap traffic, something's about to happen, and that's actually the reason I think I got around Jacob. We were kind of train racing around the top. We caught the lap car that was running in the top, and we forced us down low, and I was able to stick my nose in and throw the slider and get around him. But that's part of racing. That's sometimes what breaks the leaders off of a one-lane track is some lap traffic, and that's.
Yeah, and we saw that definitely here tonight at the Limaland Speedway. You guys all making it work. And yeah, you and Brandon Marlowe, I tell you what, class acts down low. You guys were hooked up down there. And I got to give you a shout out. One of your biggest cheerleaders, Aaron Kirby, out here in the YouTube chat, couldn't make tonight's race, but was cheering you on, hoping to see you down in victory lane here once again.
Yeah, I gotta thank Aaron for all he does with the wraps and everything. He just did my go-kart wrap, and he knocks it out of the park every time he does it. But he wish he was here for sure.
Yeah, this track proven to be a very fun one. Limaland, usually has pretty good reviews, but some people really don't like it. I tell you what, it seems like always some great racing action when we come to this track. As Trevor, we're going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank on this 13T machine for another podium position. You come runner-up from starting at the back.
Like I said, I got to thank Aaron for at FMS Rapid Graphics for the wraps. You for the broadcast, of course. Zach for putting on the league. Sponsors on the cars, T-Mat Speed Shop, FMS Rapid Graphics. Who else we got? Hot Lap Heroes. Congratulate Brandon on the win. He drove a heck of a race, and so did Jacob. The other two of my teammates. Got to thank Bobby and Tanner, two really good buddies, and Bobby's my uncle. As I've said before. I think that's it, man.
All righty, Trevor. Always a pleasure talking to you tonight. You almost get the, let's say, the Trevor Mattingly Challenge complete here tonight. You come up one spot short, but a heck of a run. I'm sure you had a blast. So, Trevor, you have yourself a great rest tonight, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you much more here throughout the season as you are the points leader still coming out of here tonight.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All righty, folks. That was Trevor Manley going from the back to the runner-up position. Oh, so close, but he does walk away still with the points lead as we now head down to victory lane and talk to the man of the hour. That is the driver of the number 37 machine, Brandon Marlowe. Do you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All righty, Brandon. You knocked the monkey off your back this season, and you pick up the win. Tell us, man, how does it feel to be down in victory lane with this group of drivers?
Oh, man, it feels awesome to finally get a win with this group. It's always, close, hard racing. So to be able to finally get a win, it feels pretty great.
Yeah, I tell you what, that 37 machine having a lot of speed. You come in late in qualifying, and you tie pretty much Trevor Mattingly's lap. You come off second quick. You win the heat race. I mean, where's that speed at the beginning of the night? That was an awesome lap by you.
Yeah, I was hoping the track was still there going out in the last group qualifying. Just kind of went with my gut where I thought the line would be, and came up just short of beating Trevor there in qualifying. But second is still a lot better than how I normally qualify. So I was happy with how the night started.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was definitely awesome. And then we head over to race time, pick up the heat win. But then race time, you see the leaders get into it. You're committed to that inside line, and all of a sudden, you're the race leader. What's going through your mindset with still over half the race to go?
At that point, I really wasn't sure where I needed to be as far as, what line, had the speed at that time, because I felt like I was holding my own there on the bottom on that restart, but I wasn't sure if that was just because the top hadn't, got their momentum yet. So I really just wasn't sure where I needed to be, and so I got to give a big shout out to Jacob there. He was kind of coaching me through that part of it, because once you're out front, it's you kind of just feel like a sitting duck. So there's a big shout out to him for the help throughout the center part of that race.
Yeah, I tell you what, that car looking very quick. You started to get caught just a little bit, and then we hit the lap traffic, and then even heavier lap traffic. Some cars 3 wide in front of you, Brandon. That had to be very stressful as a race leader, trying to pick your way through that lap traffic and pretty much forcing you to that inside line.
Yeah, the lap traffic was definitely nerve-wracking. Just that big group of cars. I mean, they're all racing for position. And, they're still, have something to race for. So you can't expect them just to lay over for you, but you still got to find a way around them.
Yeah, that you do. And I tell you what, Brandon, you went to that bottom side, and it seemed like you figured out something. You all of a sudden start pulling away from people and increasing that race lead. I was like, man, this 37 machine hooked up down low. I mean, what'd you figure out? Or I tell you what, that was impressive, whatever you were doing.
Honestly, that's where I'm comfortable at. I'd rather be towards the middle bottom, running the fence. That's not my thing. I'm not comfortable up there. I don't feel like I'm very good at it. So once I was able to move off the top and get to the bottom and make speed, I felt more comfortable there, and I think that was a big difference as far as making lap time.
Yeah, I tell you what, you did an awesome job working those lap cars. Download, didn't lose any time. You, in fact, gained some time. So, Brandon, heck of a job here tonight. And I tell you what, you got to be, once again, here ecstatic down in victory lane, picking up the win this season. Another podium, but this time, way more important down in victory lane here in race number 5.
Yes, sir. It always feels great to come home with a win, especially with a group like these guys. It's always tough.
Yeah, that it is. A very skilled group here tonight. And each and every week, it seems like, I mean, anyone could win. But tonight, Brandon, you pick up the win here with an awesome run. And I'm going to go hand over the mic to you down here in victory lane to thank who you got to thank here to make this 37 machine park it on the front stretch.
I just got to give a quick shout out to Trevor. Congrats on his second there coming from the back. I know that wasn't easy. Shout out to Jacob for all his, help throughout that race and still bringing it home on the podium there in third. All the guys at Hot Lap Heroes for their help. 789 Designs for the wrap on the car. Zach and Dave and all the guys with ASRC for putting this league on. You, Brett, with Turn 3 for always doing an awesome job on the broadcast. And just got to give a big shout out to my wife for letting me come in here and have some fun and race with these guys. And like always, my daughter for rooting me on.
Yep, 2 of the biggest fans right there at the end, Brandon, letting you do this. And, of course, park it down here in victory lane. So, Brandon, can't wait to talk to you some more throughout the season. I'm sure you'll have a lot more podiums and hopefully some more wins as this 37 machine coming on strong here mid-season. Brandon, you have yourself a great rest of this night and go celebrate this win this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too.
All righty, folks. That is Brandon Marlowe celebrating down in victory lane in this 37 Hot Lap Heroes machine, getting the job done here tonight as Brandon Marlowe picks up his first win of the season. He is very excited, and I tell you what, there's not a better feeling, especially with this group of guys, to pick up a win like that. As we'll now head over to our post-race activities as we'll run through tonight's feature events of race number 5 of the American Sim Racing Club Pro Late Model Series here at the Limaland Speedway. Brandon Marlowe in the 37 Hot Lap Heroes machine picks up his first win of the season. Trevor Manley goes from the back to the runner-up spot. He finishes in second in that 13T. Jacob Laster continues that streak of podiums. He will finish third in the 151. Bobby Manley, a solid night for him. He will finish fourth in the 3M. With Blake Steele, once again, another top 5. He comes from the B main to finish in the top 5 in the 11. Grady Ehrman in the 42 machine will finish in 6th, with Davin Markham rebounding to P number 7. 8th going to Cade Gailey. 9th is Jordan McAvoy and Dan Lloyd rounding out the top 10. 11th is Daryl Larson, with Eric Lake finishing in 12th. 13th is Tanner Hutchins. A heartbreaking night for the driver of the Double OH machine. 14th is going to Chuck Darling. 15th is Dave Payne. 16th, Zach Rush. Cam Tucker finishes 17th. A tough night for him. A lot of damage to that car. And Michael Guerin, our only retirement with that big hit to that outside wall. So that will do it here for race number 5 at the Limaland Speedway. Be sure to tune in 2 weeks from now, June 8th, for the Lucas Oil race for race number 6. That will be 75 laps here on the Turn 3 Racing Network on the Sunday nights. We got to say a huge shout out to all the fans tuning on in here live or replay. Thanks again for being patient with us with the weather delay as we did get the show rolling. And I tell you what, a heck of a show. Got to give, of course, a big shout out to Aaron coming on the YouTube chat, cheering on Trevor Manley there. And be sure to tune in to Turn 3 throughout the week as we have a lot of great series, a lot of great broadcasters for all your virtual racing needs. I've been Brett the Jet here in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.